Every frame of his life says, perfection isn't luck, it's karma. Something preordained for each one of us and out of our control. Karma, however, it's the opposite. Literally means action. Tom became master of his fate by becoming the master of his own action. Writing a 4-minute speech to celebrate Tom Cruise's 45-year career is what is known in this town as Mission Impossible. So Tom is mean. I'm an honor and delight, but you owe me one, my friend. So the only possible thing I can do is to share a story. 25 years ago, I was still a first-time director, and I began hearing that Tom Cruise, yes, Tom Cruise had seen my first film, Amores Perros, and was screening it at his home every week, inviting friends to watch it. And I was astonished, and I assumed the stories were exaggerated. Then the film received an Oscar nomination, and I still had not met him. In fact, I didn't meet him until 12 years later when I crossed paths with him on a stage at Paramount. And when I introduced myself to thank him for his selfless generosity, he shook my hand firmly, looked straight into my eyes with those laser-sharp retinas, and with relentless precision, speed, and intensity, he described scene by scene every performance, line, edit, and camera angle he loved of the film. He knew more about my film than I ever did. Many of you in this room may have probably had a similar moment with Tom. It's very impressive. And 25 years later, having shooting a film with him for several months in London, it's even more remarkable because I know it's real. Tom is fully present. He sees you. He hears you. He connects every single moment. Because he knows films aren't built on ego. They are built on eye contact. I personally witnessed the process. We spent months rehearsing every detail for a complicated sequence. His character has plenty of fast dialogue and demanded emotional shifts, physical transitions, and changing gears from satire to madness with intricate blocking with a crowd of extras. It requires surgical precision. And just in the fourth take, what I witnessed, what we all witnessed that day, was unreal. You remember. He was meticulously choreographed, yet feel completely improvised. Structure like a clockwork, but flowing like jazz. And I got goosebumps. That night, while trying to understand how he was able to do that, I realized that the big difference between him and anybody else is that he's used to performing under extreme pressure where every move, every millimeter can mean life or death. And honestly, that kind of intensity doesn't stop when the camera do. One day we were eating Mexican food and I saw him pull off the most dangerous stunt of all. This man ate more chile than any Mexican alive. He ate raw green serranos like they were popcorns. The dangerous chiles habaneros as cherries, one after another. I, a proud Mexican, I was crying with one just bite of it. And this guy was looking at me and saying, it's refreshing, it's refreshing. It's crazy. Even Guillermo del Toro doesn't eat so much, anyway. And that's something to say. So I call him Tomás Cruz. He's a Mexican, I know that. He just doesn't say it because ICE is out there, so be careful. One story that he told me has an image that still fascinates me. After finishing Taps in 1981, his first film directed by Harold Becker, Sean Penn invited him to stay at his mother's house in Los Angeles. That one night, the two of them, both 21 years old, drove from Malibu to Hollywood and parked outside Jack Nicholson's home. These two kids brought down the windows and started to smoke a cigarette while dreaming and imagining what it will feel like to be him. Can you imagine Sean said, and Tom replied, I can. 10 years later, Tom was inside the same Jack Nicholson house, reading lines for A Few Good Men with him, and got the part. Even he knew his lines of Jack, and Jack was saying, okay, kid, I got what you are saying to me, when he was forgetting a line. Every frame of his life says, perfection is in luck. It's karma. Karma in Sanskrit is popularly understood as meaning fate, something preordained for each one of us and out of our control. Karma, however, it's the opposite, literally means action. Karma is not destiny, it's what we do. Our actions shape our experience. Tom became master of his fate by becoming the master of his own actions. With Christopher McQuarrie, during the last decade, he turns risk into ritual. Every jump, every climb, every cockpit dive says to the audience, I have done the impossible, so you can believe in the possible again. He risked his life in every take, so the rest of us can risk caring again. He's never lost his sense of purpose, because Tom Cruise doesn't just make movies, he is movies. He's bridged generations. Audiences who first met him in the 80s brought their children and now their grandchildren to watch him fly again. He's remained constant in our collective imagination, not by following fashions, but by setting standards. In a world of shortcuts, he takes the long way. In the era of quick cuts, he chooses endurance. He has resisted being swallowed by brands, social media, streaming, pixels, and endless soulless exposure, and by doing that, he kept the mystery and mystique needed to be the biggest film star in the world. Everyone who has worked with him everyone here who has worked with him tells a version of the same story. He thanks you every morning. He expects excellence and give you courage to match it, and he knows your name. Tom Cruise has done what only the rarest artists ever do. He's built not just a career, but a continuum. He's made excellence his habit, gratitude his practice, and ambition his fuel. He reminds us that cinema is still a craft worth mastering, that movement can be poetry, and that belief in self, in a story, in others, is still the most powerful special effect of all. This may be the first Oscar and his first Oscar, but for what I have seen and experienced, it will not be the last. If you stand, if you stand next to him, you know that you start to wonder if the rest of us belong to a completely different, rapidly decaying species. At his rate, he easily has another 60 years of careers and award ahead of him. We will not be here, but you will be here. So tonight, we celebrate not just a filmography, we celebrate a lifetime of purpose. Tom, thank you for proving that the impossible, when pursued with heart and precision, can indeed become inevitable. And here's to the man who never stopped running toward the next story and made us all believe that we could keep up.